Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video on the One Race Fangirl channel. I am your girl Asia from the One Race Fangirl channel. We're here today to be wrapping up the seasons for Degrassi. We are officially reviewing season 13 for Degrassi. I just want to thank everyone who has supported me this far with my channel, who have supported all my Degrassi content. I really do appreciate the love. I understand that Degrassi is really one of them pop culture shows that you either love or you don't love, or you love it so much that you have so many topics to talk about when it comes to the show, when it comes to storylines, when it comes to couples. So please, like I said, if there's more topics I can find when it comes to Degrassi, whether it's unpopular opinions or me ranking the season finales, I'm gonna do it because at this point, I started my channel talking about Degrassi, and I want to keep that going for as long as I can, as humanly possible. But today we're finna wrap up season 13 and 14 for seasons, and then we finna go ahead and get into me doing these episode reviews and just focus on whatever other cartoon that I am watching to where I can upload content for that. Like I said, I am currently only watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I am watching Big Mouth. I'm on season 6 for Big Mouth right now, almost done. Then I have season 7, and then I'm really waiting for the show to come back on for their 8th and final season in May. I'm almost done with Avatar: The Last Airbender. Once I'm done with that, I will keep coming out here with my season 1 review. But let's go ahead and get into season 13 for Degrassi. So, season 13 for Degrassi. For the most part, I actually do love season 13 for Degrassi. Like, I actually enjoy this season. Like, season 13 is really one of my favorite seasons for Degrassi. It was in my top 5, if I'm not mistaken, when I ranked the seasons from worst to best, because I feel like it should be there. I know a lot of people didn't like it because they didn't like the storylines. Do all the storylines in this season hit? No, there was some hits and there was some misses, but I feel like for the most part, for what they did do, I did like it. I would consider it a masterpiece in its own way because I feel like for the newer generation, I do feel like season 12 was really a masterpiece. Like, I feel like when it comes to Degrassi season 12, it was a complete masterpiece. Like I said, when it came to giving characters, storylines, stretching out storylines, just everything, it was a masterpiece. I do feel like season 13 is a masterpiece in its own way. And I think the reason why I feel like it is a masterpiece is because of the sophomore class. Again, like I always tell you guys, they sometimes really don't give the senior class shit to do. A lot of times when it comes to Degrassi, and I feel like the senior class in season 13 and 14 was really handed shit on a platter because they only did certain stuff with certain people from the senior class, if that makes sense. Like season 13 had 40 episodes, so they did what they were able to do with certain characters. Like I said, there were some characters who did get storylines that I did not care for, like Imogen, like Jack. But characters who were new that came in this season, I absolutely fuck with Miles. I feel like Miles' character completely changed Degrassi forever. I feel like his appearance in the Degrassi world really changed the game because I feel like Degrassi needed someone who's going to bring that drama, who's going to bring that feeling. Excuse me. And I feel like his character did exactly that in season 13 and 14. I absolutely love Miles. I love him down. He is definitely one of my favorite characters in Degrassi. I love Eric Osborne. He acted his ass off as Miles. I loved him to death. Like, I love Miles. Miles is one of my favorite characters in Degrassi. Every storyline they ever gave him, I fucking loved it because he never disappointed me when it came to a storyline. Like, the whole love triangle with him, Maya, and Zig in this season, bitch, it gave what it needed to give. That storyline was the best storyline in season 13. Period. I don't think any storyline can touch that. And I also feel like, excuse me. Ooh. Sorry, guys, my allergies are kind of bothering me. I feel like when it came to season 12 and season 13, I feel like these were the seasons where it like focused less on relationships, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying to think, what was it in this season I didn't like? There's a lot in this season I didn't like. Well, not a lot, but just a couple things. Like, okay, like I said, season 13 had 40 episodes, and not every episode in season 13 was a hit. But for the was a hit, but for the most part, some of these episodes really did give what they needed to give, and I really fucked with them. Now, when it comes to the things I didn't like the whole. I didn't like Claire's cancer storyline, and I say that because it felt random. Because I totally forgot to mention this in my season 12 review that at the end of the season she found out that she had cancer. And I just feel like at this point, Degrassi, you're going to throw everything at Claire. You're going to make sure you give her every fucking storyline you could possibly give her, and I just found it to be fucking ridiculous. Claire has got every storyline at this point. She did not need a cancer storyline, especially when you only did it for 4 fucking episodes and it was done. It's like, what the fuck was the point? Why even do it? Definitely not a fan of her cancer storyline. Wasn't a fan of them killing Adam off. Definitely wasn't a fan of that. Wasn't a fan of them breaking up Drew and Bianca. That was a really shitty mistake, and it was a really shitty decision, which I have expressed why I don't fuck with it, and I will get there when I do my episode review for that episode. What else was I not a fan of in this season? I was not a fan of them. I don't mind the Drew and Claire storyline for drama purposes, because that is why I watch drama shows. I'm watching them for drama. But I didn't like how I didn't feel like Drew and Claire needed to be romantically involved, if that makes sense. Okay, after everything they did in the season, like having sex and everything like that, I was okay with it being that. I didn't want them to be a relationship. So when Jenna and Allie was mad because they felt like Drew used Claire for sex because Claire was telling them half of the fucking story, that shit blew me, because I don't feel like he needed to owe any of them bitches an explanation, because he didn't have sex with them. And of course they're going to take Claire's side because that's their friend. Drew is friends with them due to consequences because they're all seniors and they hang out in the same group. None of them are really fucking friends. So I don't even feel like he owed Jenna and Allie a fucking explanation. And like I said, they're only mad because Claire told them half of the story. It's like, Claire, if you're not going to be real and tell them what really went down that day in the room, why even open your mouth? You're only telling them half of the story because you're trying to make me look bad and you're trying to poison them against me. He didn't play Claire. It wasn't he used her for sex. It wasn't none of that. Claire liked the Drew. She was falling for him. They were flirting a lot. Their sexual attraction was really high. You could cut it with a knife. Her and Drew had sex. After her and Drew had sex, she ran off with Eli to talk to him. Did she or did she not? Okay, she did. Then she came back to Drew and tried to convince herself and him that everything with her and Eli was over because she wanted it to be over, or she's trying to convince herself that she's not in love with him anymore. When Drew told her to look me in my eyes and tell me there's no part of you that's still in love with him or still has love for him, she couldn't do it. And she told Drew that it's complicated, but she cares about him. I understand that you care about me and that you want to have a relationship with me. But it's like, Claire, if me and you get together now, I'm going to be nothing but your rebound because you are not over Eli. You are still emotionally attached to him. And I deserve to be with someone who doesn't want to just use me to get over someone else. The shit is not right. So to me, I'm trying to understand, why is everyone mad that Drew didn't want to be her rebound? The fuck? Like, I'm really mad. Everyone is more mad at him than they're mad at Claire. And it's like, what? She wanted to use him as her rebound. Why is she not getting heat? That's that double standard bullshit. Like, he's getting heat because he laid down a law on why he wasn't going to stand for that shit. I'm confused, but whatever. I don't think Drew owed her an explanation. I don't think he owed her an apology. He told her what the fuck he told her that day. And they need to just leave it as that. Like I said, I was not against the Drew and Claire storyline because I feel like it definitely gave drama. But them being romantically involved or whatever they were trying to do with them couple-wise, I was not fucking with it. I thought it was disgusting. It was ill. I didn't like any of the bitches they put Drew with after his relationship with Bianca. None of them. I was not fucking with none of his relationships after Bianca because it was just disgusting. They just had him being a fuckboy. He was with every bitch on the cast. It was just disgusting. It's like, so Drew don't get any individual character storylines anymore. He's just the fuckboy and Degrassi. We doing that now? That's what we doing? That's crazy. That's insane. Like I said, I didn't really feel like Miles and Maya had chemistry as a relationship. I always still find it crazy that she even dated a guy who called her a slut because she didn't want to be in a relationship with him. But whatever. But as drama-wise, their relationship gave in season 13. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That drama and Miles and Maya's relationship, it was eating me up. Because they always had some shit going on in their relationship. Always. And it's really because Miles had shit going on at home, for real, for real. Like, his dad being a cheater and all that. Like, Miles' dad is really responsible for why Miles was really psychologically fucked up. It really fucked up because his dad really put a lot of manipulation on him. Like, Miles had daddy issues because him and his dad argued a lot, and his dad really didn't really know his oldest son for real. So I kind of felt bad for Miles because some of the shit that Miles did was for him to get attention from his father, and the only way he knew how to do it was because the only way he knew how to do it was being rebellious and getting into trouble. Because if it wasn't him doing that, his father didn't pay any attention to him. So I feel like with Miles' character, it was a lot more deeper than him being the rich boy who likes to get into chaos, to me, in my opinion. I feel like his character was way deeper than that. And you see they kind of explore that in season 14 and the next class, which is definitely something I really appreciate with Miles' character. Like I said, Eric Osborne always acted always acted his ass off when it came to Miles. And I felt like I couldn't see anyone else playing Miles. Zig being in a gang, I wasn't against it, but I didn't really care for it. But I did like that we got to see him and Maya get together. Well, not get together, but be in the same storylines and same scenes again, because I do feel like that chemistry with her, with Maya and Zig, definitely was there once we started seeing scenes with them, to where I didn't even want Maya to be with Miles anymore. At that point, I was ready for the writers to put her with Zig. But like I said, the Degrassi writers like to test our patience, so they weren't going to do that so quickly. I did not like Allie's domestic abuse storyline with that guy Leo. That is definitely something they should have did better. Or, as a matter of fact, why put her in a relationship if you had something to do? Why put her in a relationship with a guy that she meets in Paris when you already had plans to do something where you was going to put her with Dallas anyway? Like, why put her in a relationship that was a waste of time and she didn't need to be in when you could have just put her with Dallas? I don't get it. Like, at that point, Allie's character just dated, and like I said, it always cracks me up how her parents had a problem with her being with high school boys, but they was okay with her being with this grown ass man from another country dating their daughter. Huh? Whatever. Trying to see what else was I not a fan of. I think that's it for real. Zoe is another character, just like Miles, who gets introduced in this season. I like Zoe. I thought for what her character was, she was okay. Oh, that's it. I do not like the fucking relationship between Zoe and Drew. It was really, really fucking disgusting. And that storyline ruined Drew's character. I don't care what any of y'all say. It ruined his fucking character. Hands down. I like Zoe's character. She was definitely a character that came in season 13, did her big one. Zoe was really after my girl Maya from the beginning, like from the jump, and I'm really trying to understand why. She was just a jealous ass bitch. Like, she was really jealous of Maya, and jealous because she kind of already knew Miles wanted to be with Maya from the jump. But when Maya told Miles that she really wasn't interested in him like that for real, that's when Zoe jumped in and kind of went for her shot. But Miles still wasn't really trying to be with her all like that for real. He was still checking for Maya. So she was really mad because regardless, Maya was the number one bitch. And I just feel like, Zoe, you really didn't have a problem with Maya other than you were just mad that even though you were with Miles, he really didn't want you for real. He wanted Maya. It's like, girl, you're mad at the wrong person. You should be mad at your man because he used you. Like, you're mad at the wrong girl. Like, you're mad at the wrong person. But I thought Zoe was cool. Like, she's this teen star from reality TV. She's been in this TV show that all the kids watch, and that's how they know her from. She was kind of homeschooled, so it was her first time going to public school and everything like that. Which is, I guess you could say, that kind of can make sense why she was so revengeful and conniving. Like, felt like it was a competition because she come from that lifestyle where it's like, around a lot of girls, it's competitive. But I feel like Zoe didn't even give Maya a chance. Like, off top, she just saw her as a threat because the guys liked her more, and I just feel like that wasn't fair. Becky and Imogen, all of them, they overstayed their welcome. Jenna, Connor, Dallas, Allie, all these characters I do not give a fuck about in this show. Claire, even Claire, like Claire's character, oh my god. Like I said, they was hell bent on giving Claire any storyline, every fucking storyline underneath the sun. And what pisses me off about her and Drew's storyline is that this bitch has the nerve to be mad at Drew because he told her he didn't want to be her rebound. But then at the end of this season, she ended up picking Eli anyway. So it's like, Claire, you literally proved Drew's point. You were just going to use him as a rebound. What was the point of you trying to be with me if you already had your mindset of that you were going to go to New York and try to fix things with Eli anyway? Huh? Girl, you make no sense. You just sound ridiculous. Like, you're just overly dramatic. Like, she live in her own world. She live in this bubble where it's all about Claire Edwards that sometimes bitch fails to see the bigger picture. Like, why would I want to be with someone who doesn't really want to be with me for real, for real? They wanted to use me as a rebound, but get mad when I don't want to be their rebound, but they end up going back to their ex anyway. Girl, if you don't shut up, like, get the fuck out of here. And Zoe's sexual assault storyline is by far, to me, the greatest sexual assault storyline ever, because not only was it dark and intense, she acted her ass off. The actress who plays Zoe really acted her ass off when it came to her sexual assault storyline. And not only that, she got justice. Like, Paige didn't get any justice when it came to her assault case. Darcy didn't either. So when Zoe got sexually assaulted by by Becky's brother, and Becky saw the videos and all that shit on his phone, like, this storyline was so fucking good. Definitely the greatest sexual assault storyline that Degrassi ever wrote. Because they went the whole way. Like, they went out with Zoe's sexual assault storyline. Like I said, Becky's brother and his friend basically gang raped Zoe, took pictures and took videos of it at Miles' house, in his pool house. Zoe's sexual assault storyline was very dark, very intense. Like I said, the actress who plays Zoe, she acted her ass off. I loved it. But again, she got justice. in ways that Paige and Darcy didn't, which I love. Her case storyline, her 2 case episodes were really fucking good. I loved them. Cause I had went back and rewatched them not too long ago, and I absolutely love her case episodes. Didn't really care about them trying to build her and Zig, because I feel like her and Zig never had any chemistry at all when Degrassi was trying to make them a couple at all. Like, her and Zig had no fucking chemistry. But I love that she actually got justice. I loved when Becky told the fucking truth on the stand. I was so happy when Maya and Miles fucking broke up and called it quits. No more of this titter-totter, getting back together bullshit. Let's end it. Let's focus on Maya and Zig. Let's focus on what's important. Zoe getting justice, I love that for her. Only thing I did not love was that people was victim blaming her. That was bullshit. Them bitches who was claiming they was her friends, like Frankie and all of them, how you gonna say they was just victim blaming her? And like I said, we're gonna get there when I do the episode reviews, but I do know when I did go back and watch them, I did not like how she was getting victim blamed. I thought it was fucking disgusting that people felt like, oh, because she was walking around the party drunk that she was asking for it. That is disgusting. I totally forgot to mention this. Another thing that I was not a fan of was randomly putting Miles and Tristan together at the end of the season. What the fuck was that? Miles, if you want to look up the word random, it's fuck in a dictionary. Them as a couple will pop up for Degrassi, because they're literally the definition of random. I always said this. I did not have a problem with Miles being bisexual. I actually fuck with that. My problem with that is that I did not want him to be with Tristan. Tristan, to me, I don't know, I just don't like Tristan. And I feel like, even though Miles did treat him like trash, I just don't think Miles and Tristan had any chemistry together. And I think as a couple, they did not match well. I always said, if you wanted Miles to be bisexual, you should have did a storyline where him and another guy who come from a household of controlling and domineering parents and domineering fathers who are controlling and treat them like puppets, to where they connect on more of an emotional level with each other than they do to anyone else, to where they kiss each other even though they both have history of only dating females, to where it's confusing, but it's a good confusing feeling. Like, you should have did that. You should have bought, I don't know, Miles' childhood friend that he grew up with, or that a guy he went to school with in boarding school moves down here to Toronto and is now going to Degrassi, and just one night they get to talking and one thing leads to another. I would have been okay with that, because now the storyline feels more creative and it feels like you actually took time. With Miles and Tristan, it just felt randomly and rushed, and I was not a fan of it. But for the most part, I actually do enjoy season 13. Like I said, there are some filler episodes that I don't care for. There are some misses, and there are characters they do give a lot of screen time to. But for the most part, I actually fuck with season 13. I'm giving this season a 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece in its own way, but I do feel like season 12 is the best season for the new generation. There is nothing that will ever change my mind about that. But this is my season 13 review. Catch you guys in my season 14 review.